Watch this morning. Are we on the verge of a global retirement crisis?
Already more and more people are forced to work well past that traditional retirement age of 65 up until 70, maybe even longer. Now the first wave of underprepared workers are going to try to retire without the money to do so. So why is the current crisis worsening, and what can you do now to stay prepared for the future? Our good friend Joe Bert, the Oracle of Orlando, is joining us right now with today's Money Monday. Always good to see you, Joe.
Good morning, Amy.
So I read this article the other day, and it really is frightening when you talk about all these different factors that are sort of coming together to create this retirement crisis.
Yeah, it's a confluence of events. And Amy, the reality is that the environment in which you and I are going to retire into is totally different than what our parents and grandparents retired into. Back in the old days, people had a pension, they had some savings, had Social Security, the house was paid for. Those days are pretty much gone, and this is not only the United States, but it's really around the world.
So what is going on here? I know one of the things they talked about is that people are having fewer babies, so that means you're not going to have maybe someone necessarily to take care of you when you retire. Is that part of it?
That is a big part of it. We've got a declining birth rate, plus the actuarial assumptions. You know, people are living a lot longer than people planned on when they set up these plans 30, 40, 50 years ago. So you got more people living longer and getting more, plus it becomes a political football. People want to add more and more benefits, but they don't want to raise the taxes to pay for it.
And pensions are starting to go away. We're seeing a lot of companies just say, we're not going to do that anymore.
Well, they've become very, very expensive. You see it across the board, not only in private corporations, but counties and states want to get rid of the old traditional pension plans, or going to the 401k or 403b plans because you can't afford them.
All right, so what do we need to be doing now? What are your recommendations for somebody who's in their 20s, their 30s, their 40s?
My recommendation is, first of all, wake up and smell the roses, because as I said, the environment that we're going to retire into is going to be totally different, so you have to understand that. But what you want to do is begin saving. You have to start forcing yourself to save, put money in your 401k plan, your 403b plan, your 457 plan, your IRA plan, whatever you can do, and put in as much as you possibly can, and then more, because you're never going to have enough. If you're going to try to live on Social Security, that is not a pretty picture. If you only have Social Security coming in when you retire, you are living under the poverty level. So you have to wake up, understand that what you're going to have in retirement is what you're able to save now, and that's what you have to get started on.
Well, one of the things you and I talked about in the commercial break too is that, you know, back in our parents' day and age, or grandparents, they'd pay off the house. The house was completely, but that's not happening these days.
No, you know, our generation, putting the kids through school, we're taking the vacations, buying the cars, the big screen TVs, all the things that we want, and then we wake up, we're 50 years old and looking at retirement and haven't saved anything. You've got to start now. You've got to understand and save it, and it can be done. You know, the longest journey starts with the first step, but you have to take that first step. Make it a New Year's resolution. Do it.
It is a good one, for sure. Joe Bert, the Oracle of Orlando from Certified Financial Corp. Always great to see you. Thanks.
You too, Amy.
All right, still